Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 7, entitled as Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Sloka 8 through 11. Raso apsu kaunteya prabhāsmi śaśi-sūryayoḥ praṇavaḥ sarva-vedeṣu śabdaḥ pauruṣaṁ nṛṣu puṇyo gandhaḥ pṛthivyāṁ tejaś cāsmi vibhāvasau jīvanaṁ sarva-bhūteṣu tapasviṣu bījaṁ sarva-bhūtānāṁ viddhi sanatanam buddhir-buddhimatāmasmi tejasvinamaham balam balavatam chaham kamaraha vivarjitam dharma virudho bhūteṣu kāmosmi bharatarṣabha. Discussing the introduction to Sloka 8 through 11. In this section, we are trying to understand the relationship between Ishvara, Chit and Achit, that is God, matter and spirit, the living entities. We saw that the living entities belong to the superior nature, para-prakriti, whereas the matter or inferior, which is apara-prakriti. But both these prakritis, para and apara, are energies of Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. Since they are coming from the Supreme Lord, it is said they are one and the same to the Supreme Lord, like the energy and energetic has no differences, but at the same time, the energy is subordinate to the energetic. Energetic is the Supreme Lord. Energy are these prakritis. It is also understood as a relationship between master and servant, or teacher and student. Another way of understanding is through an example of sun. Although the sun is all light, the clouds, darkness, the snowfall, everything is part and parcel of sun. Without the sun, there is no possibility of these things. At the same time, these things are different from sun. Although the life of living entities are sustained by the sun, at the same time, life is also disturbed by these things like darkness, snowfall, heavy heat. But the sun itself is not affected by any of these things, as sun is far, far away from any of these disturbances. We also saw the example of Chintamani, which produces gold. Therefore, gold and Chintamani can be said as one, but they are not the same. They have their differences. We also saw the example of fire and its power, the burning power. They are one, they both are identical, but they are not the same, they are different. Next, all these energies are classified into three: Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, Antaranga Shakti. In that, the first two that we saw in the previous session, Bahiranga Shakti, which are the 24 elements, Pradhana, Mahan, Ahankara, pancha tanmatra, pancha bhuta, pancha karma indriya, pancha jnanendriya and manas. Makes it 24. This is all Tula Shakti. That is, they are the Bahiranga or material energy of the Lord. Then, subtler than this is Tatastha Shakti. That is the marginal energy, the living entities. Between these two, the living entities are superior, whereas the material energy are inferior. Now let's understand the two classifications of this Jivatma, which are from the Tatastha Shakti. One is Antarmukhi, whereas another one is Bahirmukhi. Antarmukhi are living entities who are facing towards Lord, whereas Bahirmukhi, those living entities who are facing opposite to the Lord. That is, Antarmukhi means those who are surrendered to the Lord and want to attain the Lord. That means they are unfavorable in the process of bhakti. Also, they are called Nitya Muktas. Bahirmukhi or the conditioned soul who are opposing or opposite from the direction of the Lord. They are called Nitya Baddhas. It is for these souls the Lord appears several times, so they hear and understand the Lord's pastimes, Lord's glories, Lord's qualities, and get attracted and desire to attain the Lord by giving up the association of matter, the material world. So that covers the Tatastha Shakti. One last point or topic to cover in this section is to understand the Achintya Bheda Abheda relationship between Paramatma and Jivatma, their differences and oneness. Number one, since the Paramatma and Jivatma both possesses knowledge, the Chit, it is said they both have no differences. Therefore, Abheda is established. Jivatma is also having knowledge, Paramatma is also having knowledge. Since both have knowledge, there is no difference between these two. Whereas, Paramatma is Vibhu, quantitatively bigger. Whereas, Jivatma is Anu, is minute. Therefore, they both differ. Hence they differ, the Bheda is established. And this is one of the reasons why it is called Bheda Bheda. Number two, the same what we just saw can be explained in a different way. That is, the Paramatma Jnana, the knowledge of Paramatma, is immeasurable, whereas the knowledge of Jivatma is measurable or limited compared to Paramatma's knowledge. Therefore, there is difference between the knowledge of Paramatma and Jivatma. Since there are differences, Bheda is established. Now, this limited measurable knowledge of Jivatma is still part of the immeasurable knowledge of Paramatma. Since it is part of the whole, there are no differences between them. Hence, Abheda is established. Therefore, the relation between these two are called Bheda Bheda. Lastly, the Paramatma is Vibhu. The Jivatma is Anu, like a drop within that Vibhu. Therefore, they have Bheda. But the Jivatma, though it is drop, cannot be separated. Therefore, Abheda. The same thing can also be compared to the infinite particle of fire, the sparks, when they are with fire and when they are out of fire. Therefore, we can see this Bheda and Abheda goes together, and it's hard to conceive these differences and oneness. Therefore, this philosophy is called Achintya Bheda Abheda. Now, after covering the Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, let's see the Antaranga Shakti or Swarupa Shakti. This is nothing but the internal energy, not external like Bahiranga Shakti. They are internal Shakti. This Shakti has all the three, Sat, Chit and Ananda. This Swarupa Shakti is further classified into three: Sandhini, Samvit, Hladini. The Sandhini Shakti is of Sat quality and absence of Rajas and Tamas, full of Sattva, Suddha Sattva. Samvit is Chit, the knowledge part. The knowledge appears from here. And lastly, the Hladini is the third aspect, which is Ananda. This gives bliss to the Lord and gives the same to those living entities who attains the Lord. So Sandhini is Sat, Samvit is Chit, Hladini is Ananda. Of all these three energies, when we say three energies, we are talking about the subcategory of Antaranga Shakti, which is Sandhini, Samvit and Hladini. The Hladini Shakti is considered to be higher. It is Srimati Radharani who's embodied or embodiment of Hladini Shakti. Whenever we say Ishvara Tattva, it always inclusive of Mother Radha, with Radha and Krishna together, as they cannot be separated. In Lord Chaitanya's philosophy, which is Achintya Bheda Abheda, Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Seva, that's the only way to attain God. Here, service to Krishna is considered the Purushartha, the ultimate goal of the living entity. And this is considered even higher than the Purushartha that's commonly known as Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. As we already saw that the Lord is understood in three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. The Brahma Swarupa or Brahman is considered to be the effulgence, the tejaś of the Lord. And the Paramatma Swarupa or Paramatma is considered to be the Aishwarya of the Lord. But both this Brahman and Paramatma are considered lower compared to the highest aspect, which is Bhagavan. Namaste. Hare Krishna.